51. Solving problems. You can use the first conditional with an imperative to give people practical instructions or advice, such as how to solve problems or improve their lifestyle. New language first conditional with imperative are vocabulary, health and well-being, new skill, giving advice and instructions. 51.1 Key language first conditional with imperative in first conditional sentences. You can use an imperative instead of the future with will. This makes the sentence an instruction or a suggestion instead of a prediction about the future. Problem. Solution. If you're cold, put on a coat. 51.2 Further examples. First conditional with imperative. If you feel sick, call a doctor. If the traffic is bad, cycle to work. Don't stay up late if you're tired. Leave the comma out of sentences that start with the imperative. 51.3 How to form first conditional with imperative. Use if followed by the present simple to describe a problem. The imperative gives the solution to the problem. If a 174. Present simple. You're cold. If shows that the sentence is conditional. Present simple tense describes the problem. Comma. Imperative. Put on a coat. Comma separates problem from solution. The imperative gives the solution to the problem. 51.4 Match the beginnings of the sentences to the correct endings. If you get lost, open the window. If you get too cold. If you see Malik, remember to lock the door. If you need some fresh air, tell him I tried to call him. If you go out this afternoon, ask someone for directions. Turn on the heating. 51.5 Rewrite the sentences, correcting the errors. If you'll be thirsty, drink more water. If you're thirsty, drink more water. Help yourself if you wanted some more food. You don't like your job, look for a new one. 4 If you need to talk to someone, call me. 2 If you like those shoes, to buy them. 6 Take a break, you feel stressed. 51.6 Listen to the audio and answer the questions. Tanya is talking to her father about selling her house. Tanya's father offers to give her money. True. False. Tanya says her plan will make her happy. True. False. 2 Tanya will sell all her furniture. True. False. 3 Tanya doesn't offer her father her furniture. True. False. 4 Tanya doesn't want a simpler life. True. False. 6 Tanya's father supports her plan. True. False. 175. 51.7 Read the article and answer the questions. Your health. How to live a simpler life. 1. Do you work too hard in order to maintain your lifestyle? Read this guide. If you're always working, take some time off to think, reflect, and enjoy your surroundings. If you can't take time off and you're stressed at work, think about what tasks you can delegate to your colleagues. You don't have to do all the work yourself. If you want to feel calmer, slow your pace. Plan your carefully and don't 3-day. Do too much. 4. If you're constantly checking your emails or smartphone when you're at home, stop it. You'll feel much more relaxed if you read a book or listen to some music instead. 5. If you have too many possessions, sell them or give them away. You won't notice that they have gone. 6. If you live in a large house and don't really need to, buying a smaller one. What should you do if you work all the time? Go on vacation. Take some time off. Leave your job. What should you do if you're stressed and can't take time off work? Talk to your boss. Call in sick. Ask your colleagues to help you. 2. What should you do if you want to feel calmer? Plan your day carefully. Go running. Try to keep busy. 000. 000. What should you do if you're always checking your smartphone? Throw it away. Read a book. Email a friend. 4. What should you do if you have too many possessions? Get rid of some of them. Buy extra storage. Move to a bigger house. 6. What should you do if you have a bigger house than you need? Rent it to someone, buy more things. Buy a smaller house. 176. 51.8 match the definitions to the words and phrases. To do things more slowly. The things you own. The area around you. To move to a smaller home. To give work to other people. All the time. Your surroundings. To delegate tasks. Constantly. To slow your pace. Possessions. To downsize. 51.9 Use the first conditional with an imperative to give advice for each situation, speaking out loud. Nadia says she's always tired in the morning. Tell her to go to bed earlier. If you're always tired in the morning, go to bed earlier. Fred is stressed at work. Tell him to go for a walk during his lunch break. 2. Jeremy is always checking his emails. Tell him to turn off his smartphone. Rima sees a new car that she likes. Tell her to buy it. Sandra says she's lonely. Tell her to visit you this weekend. 51 Checklist. First conditional with imperative. Health and well-being. Giving advice and instructions. 177. 52. Planning activities. You can use subordinate time clauses to talk about sequences of events, where one thing must happen before another thing can happen. New language subordinate time clauses are vocabulary building works. 52.1 Key language subordinate time clauses. English uses when, and, as soon as to talk about events or actions in the future that happen before another event or action can take place. These phrases are called subordinate time clauses. When, as soon as. These phrases indicate that the new skill describing sequences of events. First event. Second event. It gets dark, he'll light the fire. First event has not happened yet. 52.2 Further examples subordinate time clauses. When I finish my report, I'll call you. Right pointing arrow. I'll put up shelves when the paint dries. You can also use subordinate time clauses to ask about future events. When you get home, will you make dinner? As soon as it stops raining, I'll go out. 52.3 How to form subordinate time clauses. WHEN, as soon as. When. As soon as. Present simple. It gets dark. Comma. 178. Future with will. He'll light the fire. The present simple describes the first event, even though it is a future event. The future with will describes the second event. 52.4 Fill in the gaps by putting the verbs in the present simple or future with will. As soon as this TV show ends. Opening parenthesis. End. I will go. Opening parenthesis. Go to bed. We. When I. As soon as she. As soon as I. Opening parenthesis. Sing. Happy birthday. As soon as she. Opening parenthesis. Come. In. Opening parenthesis. Finish. Fixing the car. I. Opening parenthesis. Drive. You to the station. Opening parenthesis. Get. To the beach. She. Opening parenthesis. Go. Swimming. Opening parenthesis. Call. Him when I. Opening parenthesis. Arrive. At the hotel. Opening parenthesis. Find. My keys. I. Opening parenthesis. Lock. The door. 52.5 Read the email and answer the questions. The builders are behind schedule. 2. Jamal. Subject. Building work. Hi Jamal. I got your email. Please don't worry. I know it's difficult to wait for the builders to finish our house. The problem is, they are all dependent on each other. So the plasterer will plaster the wall when the electrician finishes the wiring. The painter will only paint the walls when the plaster is dry. They'll install the kitchen as soon as they finish all the other jobs. Try not to worry about the patio. We'll do it together as soon as I get home. Remember that when I finish this work contract, I'll be home for 8 weeks. Love, Tia. True, false. Not given. The plastering comes before the wiring. True, false. Not given. Greater than the kitchen will be the builder's last job. True, false, not given. Jamal can work on the patio immediately. True, false. Tia will fix the garage. True. Not given. False, not given. Tia has finished her work contract. True. False, not given. 179. 52.6 Another way to say subordinate time clauses. UK English sometimes uses the present perfect instead of the present simple in subordinate time clauses. When it has stopped raining, we'll go outside. We'll go outside when it has stopped raining. The present perfect still describes a future event. 52.7 Listen to the audio, then number the pictures in the order they are described. ... 00. 52.8 Say the sentences out loud, reversing the order of the phrases. When I get home, I'll call you. As soon as I finish work, we'll meet up. I'll call you when I get home. I'll buy a car when I've saved enough money. When the weather's better, I'll go out. 2 You'll feel better when you've had a rest. 180. They'll put up pictures when the paint dries. 52.9 Match the beginnings of the sentences to the correct endings. As soon as I've finished this book. They'll buy new furniture. When we've built a fire. When they've finished redecorating. When the sun comes out. We'll go and sit outside. She'll look for a job. When we go to New York. As soon as I get paid. We'll visit the Statue of Liberty. I'll lend it to you. We'll cook some food. I'll buy that expensive dress. As soon as she finishes college. 52 Checklist. Subordinate time clauses. Are building works. Describing sequences of events. Review the English you have learned in Units 48 to 52. New language. 0 Conditional. Present simple passive. First conditional with if. First conditional with unless. Sample sentence. When you pour oil onto water, it floats. In the experiment, water is heated until it boils. If we save enough money, we'll go on vacation. Unless you study hard, you won't pass your exams. First conditional plus imperative if you're cold, put on a coat. Subordinate time clauses with present simple. Unit 48.2. 0. Co. 49.1. 50.1. 50.7. 51.1. As soon as it gets dark, he'll light the fire. 52.1. Subordinate time clauses. With present perfect. When it has stopped raining, we'll go outside. 52.6. 181. 53. Unlikely situations. English uses the second conditional to describe the result of an unlikely or impossible event. Because the event is unlikely, the result is also unlikely. New language second conditional. Are vocabulary collocations with make and do, new skill talking about future dreams. 53.1 Key language the second conditional. Like the first conditional, the second conditional uses if to describe an action. The result is described using would. Single quote. Unlikely action. Unlikely result. If I won the lottery, I would leave my job. 53.2 Further examples the second conditional. He would can be shortened to he'd. Single quote. If he wasn't so busy, he'd go on vacation. 0123. ... Question mark. The action can come after the result. In second conditional sentences, there is no comma before if. Single quote. I'd call her if I knew her number. 53.3 How to form the second conditional. If. 182. Past simple. I won the lottery. If shows that the sentence is conditional. Comma. WOULD plus base form of verb. I would leave my job. Comma separates. Past simple tense. Describes the action. Action from result. Result is described using would plus verb. 53.4 Fill in the gaps to form second conditional sentences using the verbs in brackets. If she applied, opening parenthesis, apply, for the job, we would offer, opening parenthesis, offer it to her. Filled circle if my job, opening parenthesis, be better paid, I, opening parenthesis, buy my own apartment. 2 We, opening parenthesis, employ many more staff if we, opening parenthesis, have more office space. 3 If they, opening parenthesis, raise enough money, they, opening parenthesis, start their own business. We, opening parenthesis, increase our profits if we, opening parenthesis, advertise on national TV. 53.5 Listen to the audio and answer the questions. Gavin tells Sarah about his new business idea. Gavin wants to run a hotel. True. False. Gavin needs to raise money to buy the house. True. False. Oh, Gavin says they wouldn't need much money. True. False. Oh, Gavin says there's no need to sell their house. True. False. Sarah doesn't take Gavin's idea seriously. True. False. Oh, Gavin thinks he could make a lot of money. True. False. Sarah thinks they should make a quick decision. True. False. 53.6 Match the beginnings of the sentences to the correct endings. If I had the money. If he sold his apartment. If she invested her money wisely. If he took his work seriously. If we modernized the factory. He'd buy a villa in Spain. She'd be very rich. We'd increase productivity. I'd invest in your business. He'd be offered a promotion. 183. Chew. 53.7 Key language collocations with do and make. In collocations, de is generally used to talk about regular tasks or activities. Make generally expresses a single action or the creation of something new. Use do for ongoing activities. I do the paperwork on Tuesday afternoons. Use make for single actions. He always makes decisions very quickly. 53.8 Read the email and match the collocations to their definitions. 2. Olivia Barnett. Subject. Feedback. Dear Olivia. VX. The business. Work together. Do. Thank you for being such a great intern. You always do your job efficiently and everyone enjoys working with you. You asked us for some feedback to help you improve. When you do business with a company, always do your research thoroughly before you make an appointment to meet clients. If you study the company carefully, you can make suggestions that will impress your clients. You should also always do your paperwork thoroughly. Please don't be afraid to ask for help if you make a mistake. Finally, although we don't usually employ interns, we want to make an exception in your case. We would like to offer you a permanent job. Regards, Rena. Perform your assigned role. Do something wrong. Make. 7. Offer ideas. To someone. 184. Diamond suit Gia. 0T. Gather information. Keep records up to date. Arrange a meeting. Do something unusual. 53.9 Rewrite the sentences, correcting the errors. I'll do mistakes if I rush my work. I'll make mistakes if I rush my work. I think I've done the right decision. Right pointing arrow Levi can help you make the paperwork. I enjoy making business with new clients. Selma always does great suggestions. I need to do an important call. Have you made your research properly? Oh, can you do an exception for me? If you worked harder, you'd make a better job. I've done an appointment to see Mr. Cox. 53.10 Say the sentences out loud, filling in the gaps. Have you made that phone call yet? I'm afraid we can't. An exception. He mistakes all the time. You've a great job this week. It was great to business with you. It's important to your research. Can I a suggestion? I hate the paperwork. 53. Checklist. Second conditional. Are collocations with make and do. Talking about future dreams. 185. 54 vocabulary. 54.1 emotions. 186. Calm, relaxed, happy, confident, proud. 88. Excited, surprised, pleased, cheerful, thrilled, interested, amazed, amused, delighted, ecstatic. 471. Angry, mad, annoyed, irritated, furious, frustrated, and disgusted, sad, unhappy, upset, lonely, worried, miserable, depressed, stressed, jealous, disappointed, unimpressed, unenthusiastic, embarrassed, scared, shocked. $1. Frightened, terrified, nervous, anxious. 199. Kit. Tired, exhausted, bored, distracted, confused, curious, intrigued. 81,188. Grateful, lucky, serious. 187. 55. Giving advice. The phrase, if I were you, is often used to give advice in English. By saying it, you imagine that you are in the same position as the person you are talking to. 55.1 Key language, if I were you. English uses, if I were you, to give advice in second conditional sentences. The advice is expressed using, I would. Single quote. I don't know if I should take this job. New language, if I were you, are vocabulary phrases for giving advice, new skill making suggestions. English uses were, not was, in this context. If I were you, I would take it. The advice comes after, I would. Single quote. 55.2 Further examples, if I were you. I'm going to the concert tonight. I think I'll buy this shirt. If I were you, I'd set off early. The traffic is awful. The suggestion can come first without changing the meaning. I wouldn't buy it if I were you. I don't like the pattern. There is no comma before if. Single quote. 55.3 Rewrite the sentences, reversing the order of the phrases. If I were you, I wouldn't leave my job. I wouldn't leave my job if I were you. I'd apply for a promotion if I were you. 2. If I were you, I'd invest some of my money. 3. I wouldn't buy that car if I were you. If I were you, I'd take a long vacation. 6. I'd start my own company if I were you. 188. 55.4 Mark the sentences that are correct. If I were you, I'd buy that house. If I were you, I'll buy that house. I'd call a doctor if I was you. I'd call a doctor if I were you. If I were you, I'd study harder. If I were you, study harder. I wouldn't go out if I were you. I won't go out if I were you. If I were you, I'd join a choir. If I were you, I'd join a choir. If I were you, I wouldn't tell him. If I were you, don't tell him. 00, 00, 00, 0000, 00. 55.5 Use, if I were you, to give advice, speaking out loud. There is a boat for sale that Javid likes. If I were you, I'd buy the boat. The car Ava wants to drive has a flat tire. Change the tire. MIA has been offered a promotion at work. Take the promotion. Andre wants to go outside in the rain. Go outside. Lily has been invited to a great party. Go to the party. 55.6 Listen to the audio and answer the questions. Bossed. Connor asks his colleague Isabel for some advice at work. How does Connor feel about the work presentation he was asked to do? Excited. Scared. Bored. How does Isabel think Connor should feel? Happy. Angry. Nervous. 000. What does Connor think he is bad at? Meeting clients. Coming up with ideas. Talking to large groups of people. 000. What has Connor done at work in the past? Won prizes. Made lots of money. Been promoted. 000. What doesn't Isabel say Connor should do? Practice the presentation. Call in sick. Talk to Jamila. 189. 55.7 Key language question phrases with gerunds. To make suggestions, you can use a variety of opening question phrases. These are always followed by a gerund. What should we do tonight? Question. Phrase. Gerund. How about eating in that new restaurant? I need to tell you something. What about having a chat over dinner? I'm so bored. I love pizza, but it's expensive. Have you tried doing something new? Have you thought of making it yourself? 55.8 Rewrite the sentences using question phrases with gerunds. You should make a list of the advantages and disadvantages of the situation. How about making a list of the advantages and disadvantages of the situation? You should discuss the idea with your colleagues and see what they think of it. Have you tried? 2. We should meet our new clients for dinner at a nice restaurant. How about? You should plan a marketing strategy with your team before you present it to your boss. What about? You should invest in property and buy some apartments to rent out. Have you thought of? 190. 55.9 Use the chart to create 12 correct sentences and say them out loud. How about talking to your colleagues? How about what about? Have you tried? Have you thought of? Talking hiring. 55.10 Read the article and answer the questions. To your colleagues? To your boss? Extra staff? Lifestyle. Digital detox. By lifestyle expert Alison Grant. How about turning off your phone and computer at night? You will sleep much better. Have you tried using an alarm clock instead of your phone? You won't be tempted to surf the net in bed with an alarm clock. If you're lost, have you thought of asking a real person for directions instead of looking at your smartphone? You might even make a new friend. Black circle in the evenings. How about doing something creative like baking a cake? The sense of achievement will feel great. Black circle finally. What about having a gadget-free day, so you can really connect with the people you love? Turning off gadgets at night will stop you sleeping. True, false. Not given. You can't go online with an ordinary alarm clock. True, false, not given. Smartphones don't give accurate directions. True, false, not given. Alison Grant thinks you shouldn't talk to strangers. True, false, not given. Oh, doing creative things will make you feel positive. True, false, not given. 6. Alison Grant thinks you should always use gadgets. True, false, not given. People who never use gadgets have more friends. True, false, not given. 55 Checklist. If I were you. Are phrases for giving advice. Making suggestions. 191. 56 Real and unreal situations. English uses conditional sentences to talk about possibilities. Use the first conditional or the second conditional depending on how likely the situation is. New language first and second conditional are vocabulary collocations for business meetings. New skill talking about possibilities. 56.1 Key language first and second conditional. First conditional. Likely situation. Present simple. Result. WILL plus base verb. Use the first conditional to describe the result of a likely situation. Second conditional. If I see Catherine, I'll invite her to the meeting. Unlikely situation. Past simple. Result. WOULD plus base verb. Use the second conditional to describe the result of an unlikely situation. If I ran the company, I'd give all my staff a bonus. 10-11. 192. 56.2 match the beginnings of the sentences to the correct endings. If I learn English really well. If I got a big bonus at work. 2. If Karen got a job in Italy. 3. If they don't hire more staff. 4. If I get an interview. I will buy a new suit. I would give half the money to charity. Their employees will be overworked. It will help me in my job. She would have to sell her house and move. 56.3 Rewrite the sentences, correcting the errors. If you're letting me know that you want to come, I book tickets today. If you let me know that you want to come, I'll book tickets today. If I am you, I'll stop eating so much junk food and join a gym. 2. If he is a better listener, he realizes that I'm not happy in my job. 3. If I'll feel lonely or bored, I video call my brother in New Zealand. If we are very rich, we go on a round the world trip. 6. If they're having time to spare before the train leaves, they're going shopping. Tal. Car AM 44. 56.4 Listen to the audio and answer the questions. Carlos is at a job interview. The interviewer asks him what he would do in different situations. The interviewer asks Carlos what he would do if he worked with a rude person. True, false. If someone was rude to Carlos, he would be rude back. True. False. If someone was aggressive to Carlos, he would still listen to them. True. False. Carlos would send an aggressive person an email, rather than try to talk to them. True, false. If someone was aggressive toward Carlos, he would always report it to his boss. True, false. 6. Carlos would never contact a colleague who was on vacation. True, false. 193. 56.5 Key language collocations with GIVE, HOLD, and set. The verbs give, hold, and set are often used in English collocations in a business context. I'll give some thought to the new proposal. They held a meeting to discuss the committee's decision. He set the goals for his team to meet this week. 56.6 Read the email and match the collocations to their definitions. 2. All staff. Subject. New store opening in Lakewood. At the beginning of the financial year, the company held discussions to decide on our plans for the year. It was agreed that we would give priority to opening a new store in Lakewood. The store needs significant renovation. I have contacted 3 building companies about this. We will need to set limits on how much the renovation costs, and hold off on starting the works until we have planned our budget. We have also hired a new manager for the store, Amy Turner. Staff from headquarters will join her in the first few weeks after opening to train her and give some help. The process has gone extremely smoothly so far, and we hope this will set a precedent for all new stores we open in the future. Regards, Jack Milton. 194. At T. Give priority to do something first. Assist. Give. Had meetings. Delay. Hold. S. Establish a way of doing something. Impose restrictions. Set. 56.7 Fill in the gaps using the phrases in the panel. The 2 governments will hold talks. I've never really given. In the spring. Working overseas, but I wouldn't mind. 2. I'm sorry, I can't give you extra time off. It would set. 3. Let's think about what we want to achieve this year and set. 4. I think we should hold. 6. Janice, please could you give? Let's hold. 7. We've. This year, we need to give. Meeting priority. With our supplier to talk about prices. Hakeem, it's his first day today. Making big decisions until we have all the facts. Limits on the number of new people we can hire this year. To boosting sales in all our markets. Set a precedent, some goals. Off on. Much thought to. Some help to. Talks. 56.8 Use the chart to create 6 correct sentences and say them out loud. He gave priority to the biggest client. They gave set held. Priority limits. A meeting. To the biggest client. On the new budget. Last Wednesday. 56 Checklist. First and second conditionals. Are collocations for business meetings. Talking about possibilities. 195. 57 Being specific. A relative clause is a part of a sentence that provides more information about the subject. A defining relative clause identifies the subject we are talking about. New language defining relative clauses are vocabulary, personal characteristics, new skill describing people and jobs. 57.1 Key language defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses are used to describe exactly which person or thing we are referring to. Without this information, the meaning of the sentence changes. Here the defining clause gives essential information about a person. Main clause. Defining relative clause. She'd like to meet someone who is kind. Here the defining clause gives essential information about a thing. Main clause. Relative pronoun for people. Defining relative clause. I'm looking for a job that I'll enjoy. Relative pronoun for things. The defining clause can also go in the middle of the main clause. K. Main clause. Defining relative clause. Main clause continued. 196. The job that I heard about is interesting. Relative pronoun for things. 57.2 How to form defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses begin with a relative pronoun. English uses different relative pronouns to talk about people and things. Tip. That is sometimes used as a relative pronoun for a person. While this is commonly used, it is not correct. Main clause. She'd like to meet someone. Main clause. I'm looking for a job. Relative pronoun. Rest of relative clause. Is kind. Who. Use who as the relative pronoun for a person. Relative pronoun. That. Use that as the relative pronoun for a thing. Rest of relative clause I'll enjoy. 57.3 Rewrite the sentences using defining relative clauses. The woman is a doctor. She lives next door. The woman who lives next door is a doctor. I want to find a job. The job must be near my home. They work with people. The people are interesting and unusual. It is important to eat good food. The food should be fresh and healthy. You should get daily exercise. The exercise should raise your heart rate. Stella has married a man. The man is generous and friendly. 197. 57.4 Read the job descriptions and answer the questions. 48 Jobs. Nurse. Full-time. Rocklands Hospital. We are looking for a confident, qualified nurse who is efficient and caring to work in our busy medical team. The ideal candidate will be someone who enjoys working with the public. We particularly want someone who is cheerful and calm, even in difficult situations. Children's entertainer. Part-time. Bingham's Entertainment. Wanted. An outgoing and fun-loving person with a good sense of humor to join our team of children's entertainers. We are looking for someone who is reliable and enjoys being around children. We will provide all the training for the right candidate. Rocklands needs a nurse who is unqualified. True. False. Rocklands needs a nurse who is cheerful. True. False. The nurse should manage difficult situations well. True. False. Bingham's wants an entertainer who is shy. True. False. The entertainer must enjoy funny things. True. False. The entertainer should be unreliable. True. False. 2. 198. 3. 57.5 Read the job descriptions again and match the definitions to the words and phrases. Not excited or nervous. Of a happy disposition. Good at looking after people. Sure about your abilities. Works in an organized way. Someone you can trust. Friendly and communicative. Likes having a good time. Appreciates funny things. Caring. Confident. Cheerful. Calm. Outgoing. Efficient. Reliable. Good sense of humor. Fun-loving. 57.6 Listen to the audio, then number the sentences in the order you hear them. George is lonely. He's having coffee with his friend Tina, who has a solution. Or I'd love to meet some people who are fun to be with. Bye can introduce you to some people who will absolutely love you. I have a job that is challenging and very interesting. D. Yes, it's tough moving to a new place where you don't know many people. There are lots of amazing people who live in this area. I'll invite a group of friends who I think you'll find both interesting and great fun. 57.7 Use a defining relative clause to combine the sentences, then say them out loud. I enjoy working with people. At work, people should be efficient and cheerful. I enjoy working with people who are efficient and cheerful. It's important to have a good boss. A good boss is confident and reliable. It's good to have interesting work. The work should be challenging. 3. We are looking for a new secretary. The secretary should be calm and efficient. I'm working on a project. The project is new and exciting. 57 Checklist. Defining relative clauses. Are personal characteristics. Describing people and jobs. 199. 58 Adding information. Like defining relative clauses, non-defining relative clauses add extra information about something. However, the information is not essential, but gives extra detail. New language non-defining relative clauses are vocabulary personal characteristics. New skill describing people, places, and things. 58.1 Key language non-defining relative clauses. The non-defining clause in this sentence gives secondary information about a person. Non-defining. Main clause. Relative clause. Main clause continued. My friend, who is reliable, is looking after my relative pronoun for people. Cat. The non-defining clause in this sentence gives secondary information about a place. Main clause. Sengyogyo. Non-defining. Relative clause. Main clause continued. My town, which is by the sea, is beautiful. Relative pronoun for places and things. 58.2 Further examples non-defining relative clauses. Our teacher, who comes from Paris, is wonderful. The doctor, who was very nice, looked after my mother. 200. Bomb. Our local concert hall, which is very old, is a beautiful building. 58.3 How to form non-defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses come in the middle of a sentence, after the subject and before the main verb. Subject, comma, relative pronoun, rest of relative clause, comma, main verb, rest of main clause. My friend, who is reliable, is looking after my cat. Who is used when speaking about a person. Commas separate the non-defining clause from the main clause. Subject, comma, relative pronoun, rest of relative clause, comma, main verb, rest of main clause. My town, which is by the sea, beautiful. Which is used when speaking about a thing. 58.4 Fill in the gaps using the non-defining relative clauses in the panel. Aaron Berg, who is very talented, has an exhibition next week. My friend is a comic actor and also a director. Our neighbors invited us for a barbecue lunch. Our cat has been missing for 3 days. The action film is on at our local movie theater, which has won lots of awards. Who are very friendly people. Who is very talented? Who's really funny? Who's black and white? 201. 202. 58.5 Rewrite the sentences, correcting the errors. The statue, who is very old, is next to Lilydale Park. The statue, which is very old, is next to Lilydale Park. My brother, which is very talented, is an opera singer. To my house, who is very old, is located in a quiet street in Ringwood. The teacher, what is very outgoing, loves soccer. This fashion magazine, who is very expensive, is extremely boring. 6. My dog, what is very energetic, likes to go running in the park. 58.6 Listen to the audio, then number the pictures in the order they are described. B1. Min. 58.7 Use the chart to create 16 correct sentences and say them out loud. My mother, who is kind, is a doctor. My mother, Amanda, who, his house, which, is kind, is cheerful, is near the city, is a doctor, is beautiful, is wonderful. The beach. 58 Checklist. Non-defining relative clauses are personal characteristics, describing people, places and things. Review the English you have learned in Units 53 to 58. New language. The second conditional. Collocations with do and make. If I were you. Question phrases with gerunds. First and second conditionals. Collocations with give and hold. Collocations with set. Defining relative clauses. Non defining relative clauses. Sample sentence. If I won the lottery, I would leave my job. I do the paperwork on Tuesday afternoons. He makes a call before each weekly meeting. If I were you, I would be careful on the ice. How about eating in that new Italian restaurant tonight? If I see Catherine, I'll invite her to the meeting. If I ran the company, I'd give my staff a bonus. I'll give some thought to the new proposal. They held a meeting to discuss the decision. He set the goals for his team this week. She'd like to meet someone who is kind. The job that I heard about is interesting. My friend, who is reliable, looks after my cat. My town, which is by the sea, is beautiful. 0, 0, 0. Unit. 53.1. 53.7. 55.1. 55.7. M. 56.1. M. 56.5. 56.5. 0. 57.1. 58.1. 203. 59 What was happening when? To report on past events, such as a crime or accident, you often need to explain what else was happening at the time. Use the past continuous to do this. 59.1 Key language The past continuous. English uses the past continuous to talk about actions that were in progress at a certain time in the past. Past simple. New language past continuous. Vocabulary verb, noun collocations new skill talking about events at given times. I knocked on your door at noon but you weren't at home. What were you doing? 11:30 a.m. X. 12:00 p.m. 12:30 p.m. Past continuous. KUY. I was having lunch with a friend. 59.2 Further examples The past continuous. Sorry I missed your call. I was mowing the lawn. He didn't go to the party because he was working late. This time last week, we were hiking in Peru. 59.3 How to form the past continuous. Use was or were, followed by the verb with ing to form the past continuous. Subject. Was, were, was. Verb plus ing. Having. Rest of sentence. Lunch with a friend. 204. Use was or were, depending on the subject. Add ing to the main verb. 59.4 Fill in the gaps by putting the verbs in the past continuous. The children were playing. They, to you, opening parenthesis, play, outside yesterday afternoon. Sing, in the choir last night. It was a very good concert. Talk, on the phone at lunchtime today. I didn't want to interrupt your call. Sorry I didn't answer the phone. For she. Eat. My dinner when you called. 5 he. 6 Ethan. Drive. Down my road earlier today. I waved, but she didn't see me. Do. His homework when his friend arrived. So he still has lots to do. Pick. Apples outside this morning. They look absolutely delicious. 59.5 Listen to the audio, then number the pictures in the order they are described. A police officer is interviewing the owner of a house where a burglary has taken place. 1. H. D. 205. 59.6 Read the notes and fill in the gaps in the summary using the past continuous. At 10:30, Mr. Black was gardening when he saw a man get into a car. The man, time, name, jeans and a black t-shirt. At 10:37, Mrs. Gomez. 10:30, Mr. Black. Activity gardening. 10:30, back from the stores. Mr. Chandra. Wash car. 10:35, Mr. Black. 10 minutes later, she saw the same man in a car. Saw man in jeans and black t-shirt. He, very fast. Get into car. Mr. Chandra. His car at 10:30. 10:37 10:38. Mrs. Gomez. Walk back from stores. Mr. Chandra. At 10:38, he also saw the same man. The suspect saw same man walk up and down the road and at all the houses. Mr. Chandra saw him again at 10:45. This time, he, the house next door and underscore. Heavy looking bag. Up and down road, looking at houses. Saw man leave next door, carrying big bag. Saw same man. Driving fast car. 59.7 Say the sentences out loud, filling in the gaps by putting the verbs in the past continuous. 10:45 Mr. Chandra. A big. 10:47 million rupees. Gomez. 2. 3. 206. You. Was cleaning. Opening parenthesis. Clean. The kitchen. Opening parenthesis. Vacuum. The living room. She. Opening parenthesis. Work. Outside. They. He. We. Opening parenthesis. Wash. The car. Opening parenthesis. Walk. Home. Opening parenthesis. Look. At houses. 01. RR 59.8 Read the leaflet and write the highlighted collocations next to their definitions. Neighborhood Watch. Thank you for joining the fight against crime. Remember, it takes time to build a good team, so it's worth having a discussion with your neighbors in order to take a view on who does what and decide who should take charge. It's best to have 2 people on watch at the same time. This means that, if you make a discovery, you should make an effort to discuss it with your neighbor in order to make sense of what you've seen. Once you are sure the activity is suspicious, you need to have a plan about what to do. It's tempting to rush things if you want to make progress, but don't approach a suspect unless you are certain it's safe to do so. Criminals will take advantage of any situation if they have the chance to do so, and you may put yourself in danger. Lead a team. Put work into something greater than understand. Know what to do. Happen slowly. Talk about things. Have an opportunity. Form an opinion. Benefit from a situation. Find something out. 10 Achieve something. Equals. Take charge. Pipe 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 pipe. R59.9 Fill in the gaps using the phrases in the panel. You need to make an effort if you want to succeed. Take time. This project will. 2. Thanks for helping me. It's good to. Let's meet up next week if we. You must not let people. But I must get it right. My homework. Make an effort. Take advantage. Have a discussion. To solve problems. Have the chance. Make sense of. Of you. 59. Checklist. Past continuous. Verb, noun collocations. Talking about events at given times. 207. 60 vocabulary. 60.1 The natural world. 208. Star, sun, planet, earth, moon, stream, river, sea, farmland, wave, beach, high tide, low tide, desert, polar region, jungle, forest, tree, branch, twig, leaf, plant, grass. 60.2 Animals. Plus. Bird, eagle, seagull, owl, parrot, insect, butterfly, bee, fly, mosquito, bear, camel, lion, tiger, elephant, rhino, giraffe, kangaroo, buffalo, cow, monkey, mouse, rat, snake, spider, frog, crocodile, lizard, turtle, crab, whale, dolphin, shark, fish, octopus. 209.